Recently, I asked for different ways on how to rank the zodiac signs. I got a lot of really great ideas. I'm actually not going to go with any of those, though. I'm going to go with ranking the most ghetto signs. It was like deep in my old notes of video ideas to do. One thing I want to say is that this isn't like a judgment. Don't be offended or be offended. I actually don't care. The second thing is, like, usually I would look up the definition of ghetto just to be thorough, but I actually did that and I realized that doing so would put me in like really dicey territory racially speaking, so we're actually not going to do that. We're just going to go through the signs and rank them one by one. So Aries, as usual, like with, usually when you analyze Aries, it's going to be pretty straightforward, and this is no exception. Aries is going to be very ghetto. Yep. Is that surprising to you? It shouldn't be, because Aries just kind of throws themselves out there. And you may be thinking, well, okay, but Aries has very expensive taste. Aries has good taste, but that actually doesn't really help in this situation, because like if you're buying, like, if you're like showing off your like Gucci bags and stuff, like looking out for like designer things, like spending all your money on like muscle cars and things like that, does that make a person less ghetto, or does it actually, sometimes what you resist persists. I think the more like flashy signs are generally going to be more ghetto. Next is Taurus. So Taurus, we're actually going to throw completely on the other side of the spectrum. Taurus is just like very chill, very mild mannered. Taurus is just a little bit more reserved. Taurus is in that like sweet spot, I guess you could say, where they do like nice things, but at the same time they're a little bit humble, usually kind of a modest aura surrounding Taurus. Next is Gemini. So Gemini is going to be, the pendulum is swinging, let's just put it that way. Gemini is going to put us back on the other side of the spectrum. I'm not going to put Gemini in the completely ghetto category. Gemini is an air sign, so they are kind of detached, and I don't really view like this detached intellectual energy as being ghetto necessarily. However, Gemini is random. They are like, this is crackhead energy, right? So that is kind of reminiscent of the whole ghetto archetype, if you will. Next is Cancer. Sorry, Cancers, don't be offended, but I am putting you in the ghetto as fuck category. That's because Cancer is very emotional. There could be a lack of class. Also, I haven't met a Cancer that can't drink yet, so just putting that out there. You add in also the mommy daddy issues that are usually present with Cancer, kind of just throwing out all their problems, throwing out all their emotions. I love you for that, Cancer. Respect you, admire you for that. You're braver than I am. However, is that ghetto? I would say it's ghetto. Next is Leo. Kind of the same vein here. Leo, I almost want to say, well, I was going to say they're the most ghetto of all, but I think Aries might take the cake for that. I'm not really sure. Leo's kind of like Aries. Leo can be a little bit self-centered. They can be crass. They can be crude. They can be very blunt. They can just throw themselves out there. They also like nice things, and they're not subtle about it. So Leo, you're going to go in the ghetto as fuck category. Next is Virgo. Yes, I am a Virgo. You can trust me not to be biased, though. Virgo is in the least ghetto category. And again, there's pros and cons, right? Virgo can almost be awkwardly correct, if anything. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes it's not, sometimes you want to be a little bit ghetto. You want a little touch of ghetto. You know what I'm saying? Virgo can be like awkwardly precise, and like there's a lot of precision. There's like this cold logic to Virgo. Okay, Virgo, Libra. Libra's interesting because Libra is detached, intellectual, refined. They're known to be like cultured, maybe, or at least like have that kind of image about them. I'm trying to cheat. I'm trying to look at my notes and see where did I put? Yeah, okay, that's what I was thinking. So I put Libra in the slightly ghetto category. I know Libra can be ghetto, but it's hard for me to put a finger on like how exactly. I don't have to explain. I'm gonna move on. Scorpio is interesting because generally the more emotional signs are going to be more ghetto, okay, and generally the more detached signs are going to be less ghetto. Scorpio is very emotional, but Scorpio like contains it all. It's like rigid. I could see Scorpio like getting into fights and being very like ghetto that way, and dare I say like trashy even, but at the same time, again, they like want to compose themselves. They're very composed. So, and Scorpio can actually be somewhat cold at the same time. We'll throw Scorpio in the ghetto category. Next is Sagittarius. I mean, let's not kid ourselves. Sagittarius is very ghetto. I would say they're maybe one of the most ghetto for sure because they're all over the place. There's no rhyme or reason. There's no boundaries. You know, they are kind of trashy, but also potentially flashy at the same time. They can be very emotional. They can be intellectual too, but you could, in theory, be intellectual and ghetto. I think that would explain Sagittarius in a nutshell. Let's go to Capricorn now. So Capricorn is, I gotta put them way down here. I think Earth signs in general are just not, you know, they're the slowest. They're the most professional, you know, correct. They're slow to act. They're very reserved. They're hardworking, which I guess you could be ghetto and hardworking. I'm really not an expert on ghetto at all, so I don't know if I feel like I shouldn't even be making this video. Next is Aquarius. So Aquarius is gonna be slightly ghetto. Yeah, because you know they are detached, intellectual. They consider themselves intelligent. I don't know whether the rest of us would consider them intelligent or not, but they, you know, definitely do. I'm just really trying to offend everyone in this video, I guess. But the reason why I would put the Aquarius on slightly ghetto is they can be like rebellious. They do like a little bit of trouble. You know, they can bring some chaos into the picture for sure. Okay, lastly is Pisces, and Pisces should be pretty obvious as well. They're all over the place. They wear their heart on their sleeves. They're, you know, they're usually like there's drinking or drugs or just like some kind of chaos in general. It's the chaos fish, right? Where did I hear that? Someone said that, chaos fish. So anyway, so that's my ranking, and you'll notice that I didn't put you in the neutral category. That's because you're either ghetto or you're not. There's no like neutral. There's no average ghetto. You're either ghetto or you're not, and that's how it is.